मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः. In the previous class, in the 14th verse, that is the 9th verse of the Dhruva Stuti, we saw Dhruva, as he was doing the Stuti of Bhagavan, he said, "You are lying on Ananta Shesha, and within that you are holding the whole Srishti in the Avyakta form, Jatarena, that meaning in your womb you are holding it, and from that it emerges, Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma emerges." So that picturization, when we see itself, when we look at it in the photos and the paintings where it has been visualized, we see Bhagavan Narayana is lying down in his Yoga Nidra. So he is sleeping. So does that mean that Bhagavan is actually sleeping? So does he have sleeping and then waking and dreams like we also have? So is that what that means? If with that, to clarify the doubt, he begins the next verse, says the commentator. Tvam nityamukta parishuddha vibuddha atma. So this verse basically reveals the swarupa of the Atma. What is that paramatma swarupa? Is what is kind of defined here. The swarupa lakshana, we saw it in the very first lecture of this course, as what is swarupa lakshana. That swarupa is being given a lot of definitions here. Meaning it is being clarified with various words to make it as clear as possible. Nitya. Nitya means that which is eternal. Mukta is liberated. So eternally that which is free from everything. Nitya Mukta. Nitya Mukta means always liberated. That means there is no bondage for that. Second adjective is Parishuddha. Parishuddha means completely pure. There is nothing that can stick to that. Vibuddha. Vibuddha is all-knowing. That which is Sarvajna is Vibuddha. So Nityamuktaha, Parishuddha, Vibuddha, together Nityamukta, Parishuddha, Vibuddha. And it is Atma. Atma means it is Chaitanya. It is not Jada Vastu. It is a Chaitanya Vastu. It is something that is sentient, we could call, or something that is consciousness itself, Atma. And Kutastha. Kutastha is something that is unchanging, which is immutable. It is Kutastha. Adi Purusha. That which is primal, which is the cause for everything. Therefore, Adi Purusha. And Bhagavan. Here the word Bhagavan is used in the sense of one who has the 6 qualities of Bhaga. We have seen that also previously. Those 6 qualities in fullest measure that he has is Bhagavan. And Triyadhishaha. One who is the master of the three. What is three? 3 gunas. One who is beyond the 3 gunas, under whose control the 3 gunas exist. These multiple qualities are there. We will come back to these with some examples and a comparison also in the next slide. I have just given you the literal meanings. So, one who is defined like this, one whose Swarupa is like this, what does he do? Yat akhanditaya swadrishtya buddhyavasthitim drashtasi. So, if at all you are like this, as unchanging and eternally liberated and always the same, how can I tell you are like that? I can see so much in the Jagat. You are the witness behind that, is what Dhruva is telling here. You are the drashta. Drashta asi. A witness is never attached to what is happening there. It just keeps on looking. So you are the eternal witness to whatever is happening in this buddhi. Buddhi here means that Samashti buddhi. Samashti means that buddhi which makes up, that mind which makes up the mind of the whole world. All minds put together, assume like that. You are just the witness of that. Akhanditaya swadrishtya. Continuously you are witnessing that. And in this srishti, you are the Adhimakha. The word Makha means Yajna. We would have heard the word Adhi Yajna. Some of you who are familiar with the Bhagavad Gita might have heard the word Adhi Yajna. The word Adhi Yajna directly refers to Vishnu. Yajno vai Vishnu is what the Vedas say. So Adhi Yajna means it refers to Vishnu. So in this sthiti, when for the maintenance of this Jagat, you have taken the form of Mahavishnu, Adhimakaha Sanne, Vyatirikta Ase. The word Jivat is not there in the word. Vyatirikta Ase means you are separate from that as the Adhiyajna. You are different from the Jiva. So basically, when in the previous verse, when he said you are sleeping, then I also sleep. I also sleep and wake up and do all that. Then you are also like that. Then what is the difference between Jivatma and Paramatma, if you ask? This is the Swarupa of the Paramatman. You are just the pure witness who is seeing what is happening in the world. And you have taken the form of Mahavishnu to take that. Therefore, you are Vyatirikta Ase. That is how I am the devotee, you are the master. It cannot be the other way around. I am the devotee, you are the master. Hence, you always remain distinct from this individual Atman, is what he says. Now, to clarify this verse further, we will go to the next slide to understand. Okay. So, here we see the differences that have been said between the Paramatma and the Jivatma in this particular verse. So there are various things that have been said in this verse. Nitya Mukta, Parishuddha, Vibuddha. So Nitya Mukta means eternally free. That Paramatma Swarupa is always free. But a Jivatman is liberated by the grace of Bhagavan or by the grace of Guru. The Guru's grace or Bhagavat Kripa is through how the Jiva is liberated. Hence, Bhagavan Mukta is Jivatma. Paramatma is Parishuddha, ever pure. But the Jiva is Malina. In the sense, it is conditioned by the various vasanas. It is there in the samsara. We get attracted to samsara. We get attached to the samsara. That attachment causes bandha and malinya. Dirt sticks to us. The Paramatma is Vibuddha. It is Sarvagnya. It knows, it is all-knowing or omniscient. Whereas the Jiva is Agnya or Alpagnya, you could say. Agnya means ignorant or Alpagnya means very limited knowledge. The Atman is, the Paramatma is the universal self as well as just the conscious being. The Jivatman is Jada. It identifies itself as this body, as the mind. So as far as it is identified with that, it is a Jada only. The Paramatman is Kutastha. It is changeless, immutable. Whereas Jiva is Savikara. It comes along with the karma. It is subject to birth and death. Then it carries the karma into the next birth and so on. So it is Savikara. Paramatma is Adi Purusha. This has, it is born and then it dies. This body is there, the mind is there. So Adiman. There is a birth and death, etc. It identifies with that. Paramatma is Bhagavan, who possessor of all the Aishwaryas. This Bhagahina have very limited powers. There is no independent power. It is based upon the power of the Paramatma. It is Triyadhisha also. Triyadhisha means one who is the master of all the gunas. This is subject to the gunas. The gunas play around with the Jivatma. So this is the difference. From this is how we understand. So when we say that Jivo Brahmiva, the Advaitic standpoint is that Jivatma is non-different from the Paramatma. And then here we have listed about 8 differences between the Jivatma and Paramatma. The differences listed here is because how the Jivatman identifies itself. Let us take an example of a pot again, a pot which is within a space. So the space within the pot is called as ghatakasha. Ghatakasha means space within the pot. And let us say the space outside the pot is called as mahakasha, the greater, bigger akasha. So as far as the pot is there, then this space within the pot can be called as ghatakasha. Now that space within the pot is limited by the ghata itself. It has only a limited this thing and there is a limit to it. When the pot is broken down, this ghatakasha becomes one with the mahakasha. Now when we say it becomes one, there is actually not becoming. Even when the pot existed, the akasha within the ghata was already one with the akasha outside of the ghata. It was only the ghata, that is the pot, which created an artificial boundary to say that this akasha, this space is different from that space, thereby creating a differentiation in spaces. Now, if we have multiple different pots like this, only because the pot exists, we can differentiate the akasha of one pot from the akasha of another pot. Or else you cannot differentiate one akasha from another akasha. Space cannot be differentiated. Space is only single. But because of the existence of these multiple pots, now you are able to differentiate one akasha from another. Similarly, the Jivatman, it identifies itself with this body-mind complex and assumes itself to be different from the paramatma. So all the things listed here is because of that ajnana of identifying itself with this pot called as the body-mind complex. And that pot is called as upadhi. We have come across this word upadhi before also. Upadhi is an adjective. It is because of which we find an apparent difference, or else that difference is not going to exist. So when we say the Jivatma identifies itself as the Paramatman, it is about breaking down this pot and identifying yourself as the ever-existent self. So all these things that we see on the right side, whether it is Malinya, Ajnana, Jada, etc., Savikara, all these are actually for the pot only, not for the Akasha. Even when the pot is there, the Akasha can never be touched by anything that is there in the pot. Let us say the pot gets dirty. The Akasha within the pot will not get dirty. The pot has a beginning and an end, but that Akasha, that space does not have a beginning and an end. So for some of these, this example will hold. Like that, there are multiple examples that can be taken to understand this. So this is how we say, as long as the Jivatma identifies itself as the Jivatma only, it will be subject to all this. Malinya, Ajna, Ajnatva, Jadatva, Savikaratva, etc. Once it identifies itself, once it realizes its true nature as the Atma Swarupa, then it merges into the Paramatman. Merges also is a verb that is used. It means it realizes that it is the Atma Swarupa itself. So from the right side adjectives, it identifies the right side adjectives as a false apparent appearance, and hence removes that appearance and identifies its true self as the one on the left. So I hope this is clear, right? Now we will move on to the next. I again have the same slide in a little more colorful form. You will find it in the course material. Moving on to the 16th verse. Yasmin hi anisham viruddha gatayaha vidyadayaha. Yasmin viruddha gatayo kyanisham patanti vidyadayo. That is the verse. So in this verse, Dhruva continues, he says, from this Atma Swarupam is where this whole creation, which has opposite gunas, it has emanated. Viruddha gatayaha. Viruddha means that which is opposite to each other. So there is vidya and avidya, there is good and there is bad, there is dharma and adharma, all this is there. For all these opposites that we see in this world, Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, Nashta, etc., the source is the same. And the source has to be that Atma Swarupa, that Brahma Swarupa only. So, Yasmin Hi, in which Anishamu Viruddhagataya, continuously these opposite natured things. Vidyadayaha, he says. Vidya, Adi, etc. So, he just enumerates Vidya, Avidya, that's all he says. Vividha Shaktaya, all the various kind of Shaktis that are there. All the Shaktis. Anupurvyat patanti. They keep coming one after the other, one after the other in the samsara. We keep seeing everything is the glory of Bhagavan. Both positive and negative. All this classification of positive and negative is created by our mind. So that classification also anupurvyat patanti, but all for all of them the source has to be the same. That Bhagavat Swarupa only. Tad Vishwabhavam. That you who are the source of this whole Vishwa, of this whole universe, Ekam. But you are singular source. There is no second source, Ekam. Since you are Eka, you are Ananta, infinite, and Adyam, the primal. Anandamatram Avikaram. You are just pure Ananda Swarupa. We've seen these adjectives multiple times, so I'm not going deep into them. Ananda Matram. Matra, the word Matra means no mixture with anything else. Pure bliss. Avikaram, that which is changeless. That Brahman, Aham Prapadye. So I bow down, I seek refuge, I prostrate to that Brahman. I seek shelter in that Brahman, he says. Yeah. In the next verse, so in this, so all these opposites also appear in that Brahman only. And all these opposites are due to the upadhis that we have seen. Previously, whatever we told as upadhi, it is because of those upadhis we see all these opposites in this universe also. But that Brahman is always avikaram and ananda matram. The final verse, now he makes a personal prayer to Bhagavan. You are that paramatma swarupa, I understand. There are great devotees who can do nishkama bhakti to you, meaning this bhakti without desires. Projjita kaitavaha dharmaha, that we saw. That bhakti which has no personal desire, like that they can do nishkama bhakti. But I am not like that. I came here to do this tapas for the sake of kingdom only. With that in mind, he completes his stuti. He says, He Purushartha Murte Bhagavan. O Bhagavan, you are the embodiment of Purushartha. Here, Purushartha means moksha only. Of the final goal of life, whatever is there. Moksha Purushartha, the fourth Purushartha, you are the embodiment of that. It means you are liberation itself. You are mukta. Tava Ashishaha. Here the word Ashishaha is in Panchami Vibhakti. Panchami Vibhakti means more than that. More than this Ashirvada. This means what? The kingdom, etc. Material sukha that you can give. Here the first word Ashishaha means material sukha. Anything that you can give ihaloka sukha that is pertaining to this world. More than that, Padapadmam hi satya ashihi. Your lotus feet is the true blessing. That means what? That mukti is the true blessing. More than this blessing, your feet, which is mukti, is the true blessing for people who can think of it like that. For people like Ambarisha, you have given them the whole, all the wealth. But he is not interested in the wealth, rather he uses it as a tool to do worship for you, that is Nishkama Bhajana. For a person like Sudhama, Kuchela, you might grant him the greatest wealth, but he will not be involved in that. So tatha anubhajataha means people who worship like that without desire. For them, Pada Padmam hi Satya Ashihi. This, your Pada Padma, is the true blessing, and compared to this world's blessing. Tava Ashishaha. Tatha Anubhajataha. But, he says, the second line he comes, Hey Arya, O protector, O master of everyone, Evamapi, let it be. That is for people who have that kind of a adhikara already. Those who are capable of doing bhakti like that without any desire, they are able to do bhakti. But I am not like that. Asman Deenan. We are Deena. I, Dhruva, am Deena because I came here with a certain motive in my mind that I want the kingdom, and that is why I am doing bhajana of you. For people like me also, you are Anugraha Katara. Katara means anxious, one who wants to do something very quickly. You want to bestow grace upon me, anxious. That is, you are anxious to pour your anugraha upon me, those blessings upon me. You are so anxious to do that. That is why you are Bhagavan. Oh Bhagavan, you are anugraha kataraha. Asman Deenan Prati. Towards us, Deenas also. Deena means here, we are helpless. That is why we want Ihaloka Sukha. We want something in this material world, and we come to you and we beg you for that. You give us this Anugraha. At the same time, through that, you lead us to moksha also. That is what he wants to say here. Because in Dhruva's story, this is what is going to happen. Now he gets the kingdom. Bhagavan says, for 36,000 years you will rule. At the end, Dhruva is still in this loka. He goes and he has a fight against Kubera's attendants because his brother Uttama was killed by them. And at that time again, Kubera and Swayambhu Manu, they come and give him Ashirvada and they say, at the age of 5, you had worshipped Bhagavan and you had his Sakshatkara. You saw him in front of you. So now, why are you doing all this kind of war unnecessarily? Stay in that sthiti. That is the advice they give him. And then he is taken in the chariot to Dhruvaloka. So, though Dhruva's motivation was for the kingdom, and he did gain that material happiness, and he enjoyed it for a long, long time, that became a pathway for eternal happiness for him. That is what he is, that is going to happen in the future for him. But he is telling in this, it is Bhagavan speaking through him, Yont Pravishya. So in this stuti, he says, Sman Deenan Anugraha Kataraha Bhavane. How do you protect us? Vashreva Vatsakam. Vashra means that cow which has newly given birth, which has just now given birth, it will protect its calf very much, very closely it will protect from whether wild animals or anything else. It will protect very fiercely, it is going to protect like that. So that's why he uses the word Vashra. Vashra is a cow which has just given birth. Vashra iva vatsakam paripati. Like that, you also bless us and protect us. Even though we ask only for material sukha, you make it as a way for that eternal highest goal of liberation, because you are Purushartha Murti. You are, for all Purusharthas, you are the Murti, but you are going to take us to that final Purushartha through other Purusharthas, you will take us. This is how Dhruva completes his stuti. Here we have completed the Dhruva Stuti. From next class, we will begin with Gajendra Stuti. And we will take questions, and maybe time allowing, we will have some revision from all of you also for Dhruva Stuti. Those who want to recite can recite. The CBT test has been uploaded yesterday. I think we posted it on WhatsApp, and also you would have received the mails today that it is on. It is open till Tuesday. So it will be there. Some people had requested the first test should be open. We will open it at a different time because we do not want to overlap. Those who had missed the first test will be able to take it. Please take the second midterm that is happening now. Memorization test will most probably happen next weekend. We will share the slots this week and you will be able to choose. Okay. Now, those who have questions, first, please raise your hands. Anything to speak about, anything to talk about, then please raise your hand. Yes. Yes, Kalkrishnan Mahodaya.
Hello, good morning to you all.
Good morning. Yes.
I want to raise something that may or may not be relevant. We have studied all the Bhagavad Gita and Suprabhatam and all of those things, Buddhism, Islam, and Jainism, all of those things. At the end of the day, Srashtacha Srishtischa Ekameva Rupam Vaswarupam. Tat Karanadaha. There is no separation between who we are and who the Srashta is. So once we understand that, there is nothing left. And we, as humanity, we seem to be asking for stuff or praying to accomplish something. But we're all part of it. We've been endowed with some amount of buddhi to be able to resolve our own issues. That being the case, why all this puja and reading and learning and everything else? Just a rhetorical question. Thank you.
I gave a lecture especially on this question on this topic when I was in the US. So it is something that can be dealt with at least for an hour or two. Short answer to this question is quite difficult. So as far as we identify with this body, we need a puja. So that is why in the last verse, again Dhruva says, once we realize that we are that single self, non-different from the paramatman, then nothing is necessary. As we see in the stories of these jnanis itself, for example, Jadabharata or Rishabha Yogishwara, we see there is no identification. But as far as I identify myself as Shankararama, then there is a necessity for a puja so that to purify this mind, to get rid of the mind.
I mean, let's not forget the fact that besides us, human beings, there is 20 jillion cockroaches and Milky Ways and everything else. And so why are we so special? I don't think we are. Anyhow, again, I don't need an answer. I'm just wondering to myself and rhetorical question.
Your questions are in the right manner, and many of these, most of these, and in my opinion, all of these have been answered in our Shastra as to whether it is other jivas or other brahmandas, everything.
So just to conclude, if you don't mind, so the most important thing for me is those who are listening and advancing the learning process. I hope our young people ask such questions. Maybe we can advance this knowledge forward as years come ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Vijay Raghavan Mahodaya.
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Three quick questions, small ones. So this is from Prahlad Stuti. So in verse 39, Channa Kalau. So how about the Kalki avatar who is destined to come?
That is a general question. The idea of the Kalki avatar is that it comes at the end of Kali, which is not useful for the Kali Yuga itself. So it creates the next Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga. Therefore, it is always said as Channa Kalau.
Okay.
And Channaha in the sense, also the sense that Channaha means one who is hidden. So he is hidden in the form of Mahatmas. There are a lot of Bhagavad Bhaktas who take avatara in Kali. That is the idea of the Puranas saying like that.
Okay, Mahatma. And second one is, what is the difference between Japa and Samadhi?
Japa is the sadhana, Samadhi is the sthiti. Samadhi cannot be a sadhana. You cannot practice a Samadhi. Samadhi is the goal. Japa is usually the sadhana.
Okay, Mahatma. And then last one, in verse 41, Parachara, we have said he's a ferryman who will take the jivas to the other side. Can he also be considered as one who lives on the other side of the river?
Oh, yes. That way also it can be Parachara. Yes. Or Pare Charati iti Parachara. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Then
Varsha, you can ask.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
This Ashis Tatha Anubhajata Purushartha Murte. Anubhajata is not understood actually. Anu is usually, Anu is usually used for, I mean, when it's followed by or something for later.
Correct,
Like
correct.
Gachati
Here,
and
Anubhajana
Anugachati.
means continuous bhajana, like one after the other, they keep worshipping. That way, Anubhajata. Anvanubhajataha, says the commentator, meaning continuously
That was
worshipping
I
in
was
the same
wondering,
manner.
followed by what? I mean, what is following?
Worship followed by worship.
Okay. Thank you
That
so
is what
much.
it means. There is no break in the worship. Everything, the Nishkama bhajana is always like that. It is a continuous worship.
Thank you so much. And another thing, Katar, you said, is very curious, eager. Is the other meaning also means sympathy? Like you say, Katar Drishti, a sympathetic Drishti, like that.
Sympathetic, it might come, but in this context, it is not sympathetic. In this context, it is eager or anxious only is the meaning
That
here.
can be one meaning also, isn't it?
I don't know where that kind of meaning comes. Katarata.
Okay, no problem.
Sympathy, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Panchanatam Mahodaya.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Japan Samadhi essentially indirectly answered some of Carl Christian's question, right? I mean, you do the pujas and all of those things. Finally, your goal is to attain salvation. So you essentially get trained, just like students. We are from the kindergarten and keep on going and studying. Once you reach certain level, everything becomes very, different meaning. The same question when I was studying Dasasloki, Shankararama, he simply said there's no Bhumi, there's no earth, nothing there, because he has reached that level. So, anyway, second question on the 49th sloka of Prahlada Stuti, it was there in the question. We are talking about ladder. I guess maybe I have to go and listen to your lecture more. Ladder is not mentioned. However, it says like something goes up and down. So
No, I had mentioned it as an example where I said you use a ladder to reach the top and then you don't need the ladder or something like that I had mentioned. Where once you reach the top with the ladder, then the ladder is no more useful.
Okay. I understood the purpose of the question. It's supposed to be a little trick question, but it's interesting. Then I went back and studied what's the definition of a ladder. A ladder has to be a physical ladder, go up and down. It also goes up and down. You can the meaning of it anyway. It's very interesting. This whole Bhagavatam, talking about these 5 Prahlada Stutis, pretty exciting, depending upon what level you are approaching it. So,
correct.
Dhanyavada for introducing this concept to us. Otherwise, we won't go and look for this specifically. Right? We are also busy running around, doing things. And somebody said these are all the places where you can find the interesting source of knowledge. Thank you. Dhanyavada.
Thank you. Dhanyavada. Now, Shilpa Tota.
Jai Shri Krishna, Guruji.
Namaste.
Actually, like I have a general doubt, like to reach God, like whatever we are doing to attain moksha. So through one guru, we need to take like any means guru pasana. The guru's blessings are must. So, like if we don't have any guru, like how is it like possible? Like
again, these are questions that are slightly beyond the this thing here. We have answered this in other forums. See, we cannot pick a guru like that. Then, in very short answer, I will tell that you continue your sadhana. Your Ishtadevata is your guru. Whoever your own God is the guru. Then, when you have enough bhakti and you are fit, the guru will naturally arrive in one form or the other, or Bhagavan itself will give you the Upadesha, whichever way. So, Guru will take care of you. You do not have to find out in the loka, oh, is this person Guru, is that person Guru? That is not how it works. So, it is you just do your sadhana, you make yourself a better Shishya, the Guru will capture you.
thank you so much.
Naveen Mahodaya or Srinivas Shastri, you may speak whenever your mic works.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yes. I just needed some help with the pronunciation, in a sense that I wanted to do the exams, or the the speaking thing, because
Right.
I was not brought up in a Asian language background. I was more in the brought up in the kind of Western Semitic language.
Understood.
Yeah. So if you can give me some hints and tips, what's the best way to approach it?
I will probably share on are you on the WhatsApp group?
I am. I think I am.
Okay. I had given a set of pronunciation lectures during my Narayaniam course. There are about 4 lectures.
Right.
Where I dealt only with pronunciation. So I
Okay.
will just share those specific videos on the WhatsApp group for everybody's benefit.
Okay.
And that should help you to a certain extent. But more, always pronunciation is not done theoretically. So when we go through this class, you just keep listening. So as you said, because the environment, you are not brought up in that environment, is why you have different pronunciation. So more and more you start listening to these verses in the way they have to be pronounced, your pronunciation will improve. So that is the way it has to be done. The finer aspects we can tune when we have started listening more, then we can tune it using those theoretical points. But it is more, the more you listen, the more better it becomes. And the more you speak, that's all.
Thank you very much. You're most kind. Thank you.
Just a comment on this topic. Even with children growing up in US, children of Indian origin, they have the same problem, pronunciation. This one. So they have to get tuned their ears to the Sanskrit words. So.
Correct. We have completed all the questions. Now, those who want to chant, you may raise your hands. We can chant for about 5-10 minutes. Lata Mahadevan, you can chant the first verse of Dhruva Stuti.
Dhruva uvacha yontah pravisya mama vachamimam prasuptam sanjeevayatyagila shaktidarasvadhamna anyan shahastacharana shravanatvagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam.
All the Mahapranas you have to stress a little more. All the Mahapranas, there was no Mahaprana. Akhila, Dharasvadhamna, Tubhyam, everywhere that Mahaprana should get the stress. And be careful,
Okay.
Shravanatvagadin, it should not become Shravana. So what happens is that Hrasva becomes Dirgha when there is no fluency usually. Because we have not practiced. Anyway, this was just taught a couple of classes ago. I'm just giving a general idea. When we are struggling to read the next letter, we make a hrasva into dirgha. For example, that word is quite long. Hasta charana shravanatvagadin. So if we come to hasta charana and then we are thinking of the next letter, it becomes hasta charana shravanatvagadin. So that is how it becomes. It is because we have not read through it. So this generally happens to a lot of people. So that is why. And then when you go to the Parayana test or something, the judge there will say Hraswa Dirgha is not proper. This is the idea because why Hraswa Dirgha, the usual problem happens. Anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Malini Radhakrishnan, second verse.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Ekastvameva bhagavannidamaatmapash एकस्त्वमेव भगवन्निदमात्मशक्त्या मायाख्ययोरुगुणया महदाद्यशेषम् सृष्ट्वानुविश्य पुरुषस्तदस्तद्गुणेषु नानेव दारुषु विभावसुवद्धिभासि.
Again, I think you need practice, but otherwise, good. Few people. Next was Rajagopalan, next verse. Then Mekhala.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
Tvaddhattaya vayunayedmatashta vishvam Subdha prabhuddha iva nata bhavat prapannah tasya bhavargya sharanam tava padamulam vismaryate krita vidha katamartha bandho.
For you, what is happening is Mahaprana and Alpaprana are interchanging in a lot of places. For example, in the first word, there is no Mahaprana. It is only Twaddattaya. You should not stress on the da and give Twaddattaya should not happen. Suptha Prabodha should not. So, in place of Alpaprana, you should not tell Mahaprana. So, be careful. By the way, many of you, I think Vijay Raghavan Mahodaya has created a few groups where they are practicing within themselves. So if you can join a small group where you practice other than the class also with somebody else, then you can listen to each other and correct yourself with the help of these recordings. So on our main group, you can ask again, and there is a subgroup where people who want to practice, there is a subgroup, you can join those groups and practice. So you can give feedback to each other. Mekhala, next verse. Jai Shri Venkat after that.
Ram 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 Guruji.
Ram Ram.
नूनं विमुष्टमतयस्तव माययाते ये त्वां भवाप्ययविमोक्षणमन्यहेतोः अर्चन्ति कल्पकतरुं कुणपोपभोग्यम् इच्छन्ति यत्स्पर्शजं निरयेऽपि नृणाम्.
Good. Those who have finished, please mute yourself. Next, Jai Shri Venkat. After that, MBV Krishna.
Ram Ram Guruji.
Ram.
Ya nirvritistanubhrutam tava pada padma dhyanad bhavajjana katha shravanena vasyat sa brahmani swamahimanyapi nathamabu kim tvantakasi lulitat patatam vimanat.
Good. In the first and second line, since there is a joining, give the pause after tava. Tanu bhritan tava pada padmadhyanat. I know you cannot hold your breath for 2 lines. That is why you are giving the pause there. Don't give the pause there. Give the pause where there is a space and continue at pada padmadhyanat. Okay. That way.
Okay.
Next verse, MBV Krishna. After that, Devavrata.
Bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvayi me prasango bhuyadananta mahatam amalashayanam yenonjasolbanamuk muruvyasanam bhavabdhim neshe bhavadgunakathamrutapanamattaha.
Good. Only third line, yenanjasa, not yenonjasa. That is, when you read it will come. Devavrata next, tena smaranti.
Yes, Madhya Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
Tena smarantiyatitaram priyamishamartyam ye chan vadasuta suhrit grihavittadaraha ye tvajjanabha bhavadiya padaravinda saugandhya lubdha hridayeshu krita prasangaha.
Good. Tvabjanabha. Tvabja.
Okay, Madhya. Tvabjanabha.
Very good. Very good.
Dhanyavada, Madhya.
Dhanyavada. Next, Vijaya Chandrasekhar. Tiryang Nagatwija.
Tiryang nagadvijasiri, tiryang nagadvijasari, sripadaiva daitya martyadi bifparichitam sadasadvishesham rupam sthavishtamajate mahadadyanekam natah param paramavedmi nayatra vadaha.
Okay. Nagarajan V, next verse. 14.
Kalpandayedadagilam jadarena grinnan sete puman swadrugananda sakastadange यन्नाभिसिन्धुरुग काञ्चन लोक पद्म गर्भेद्युमान् भगवते प्रणतोऽस्मि तस्मै.
That takaras should not be heard like da. தமிழ்லயோ மலையாளத்திலயோ இருந்தா அந்த தா வந்து தாவாட்ட it will sound like that. Try to make that as takara heard clearly. Okay.
Thank you, Mahadaya.
Thank you. The next, G. Venkateshwarar Mahodaya. First verse again. Yontah pravishya.
योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्याश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणद्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्.
Good. Next, Bhuvana, second verse. Ekastvameva.
एकस्त्वमेव भगवन्निदमात्मशक्त्या मायाख्ययोरुगुणया महदाद्यशेषम् सृष्ट्वानुविश्य पुरुषस्तदसद्गुणेषु नानेव दारुषु विभाव सुवद्विभासि.
Good. Very good. Raghunath, next verse. Ram.
तद्दत्तया वयुनयेदमचष्ट विश्वं सुप्तप्रबुद्ध इव नाथ भवत्प्रपन्नः तस्यापवर्ग्य शरणं तव पादमूलं विस्मर्यते कृतविदा कथमार्तबन्धो.
Very good. Dhanyavadaha. Very good. All of you recited well. We will again meet next week for Gajendra Stuti. Namo Namah Sarvebhyaha. Ram Ram Ram.